Chairman of the West African Elders Forum, my boss, yes, my boss, His Excellency Dr. Goodluck.
His Excellency President Adamaboro, the President of the Republic of Gambia, thank you for being with us and supporting us. Your Excellencies, invited guests, good ladies and gentlemen, let me first and foremost thank the President of the Republic of Gambia for hosting us in this 18th edition of the Sahel Governance Conference. Let me sincerely appreciate you for putting this together and working with the Goodluck Foundation and personal ideas and the government of Gambia to make sure that the idea had this conversation. Thanksgiving is very great. So I also try to bring. I'm always worried about conferences because of the drama and what is present starting holding talks. I always want to know what we gain at the end of the conference. And when we were to come, I called my executive director on media and said, we're talking about Sahel. What is special about Sahel that attracts the world and attracts the United Nations? The extent that the UN will now be special representative of the Sahel. What of course we is crisis, terrorism, and banditry. The southern part of Africa, we have similar conditions. And we look at ourselves, we have conflict in a number of countries, sometimes because of stupid struggle for leadership. But then the next part of Africa that we have a similar condition like Sahel and Somalia. And I look through the literature and it's clear that the climatic conditions in Somalia and the legislation is very, very identical to that of the Sahel. Arid savanna, dry land. And to me, if I'm not as a part of Nigeria that are within the Sahel, the northern Nigeria upward of the 12 degrees north. The state, Sokoto State, the whole state is within that region. Other states like Bauchi State, Borno State, Yobe, Kano, Katsina, Gawa, and maybe another part of the state, not the whole state. And this condition, Africa south of the Sahara, they are all agrarian sites. And these areas, you must convert what you have in the natural environment to create wealth. And in these areas, the farmers farm for about only 4 or 5 months of the year. So the rest of the year, you almost have no work to do, no productivity. So people living under this condition will surely be poor. And when people are confronted with this kind of scenario, definitely you will expect major conflicts that will come up. No matter the matter, if you read our world book, X in balance, so much by president or somebody by president. It devoted one chapter to talk, look through history, how empires collapsed because of similar conditions, by other conditions and devastated environment, including France. During the collapse of the Roman Empire, crisis in Germany, Switzerland, and all these areas. If you come to Nigeria, in the 80s, we have what we call the Minnesota religious riots, or sometimes Minnesota urban revolution. And initially, people thought that it was linked up with religion, until one person back then was the lecturer in ABB, went to research where the arrested people were detained. And after taking inventory from where they were living before they migrated to the cities to call themselves revolt, you know that they came from the Sahelian region and many of those areas that they have major drought in the 70s and the bigger pest epidemic that affected Chapel area. Even the non-Nigerians that participated in those revolts from Burkina Faso, from Niger, from Mali, from northern Cameroon, migrated from areas that were affected. So what I'm saying is that if we must get the Sahel managed, the key thing is that we must find ways to create wealth in the Sahel. We must find ways to create wealth in the Sahel. And that's why when I was president, I just asked for my rights for the good time. I did two things. We started rehabilitating all our irrigation projects in northern Nigeria. The current president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Addition, was my name, I can access. We started rehabilitating, we must rehabilitate all the irrigation projects in the Sahelian region, and even start fresh new ones. Because farmers must cultivate at least 3 times in a year. If you must create wealth in these areas. When people are poor, they can do anything. The young people can do anything to survive. And that is one of the greatest problems we have in Somalia, we have in the Sahel. The second thing I said that we must also rehabilitate, and that's one thing here. We must revisit the Great New World Project. The Great New World Project was initiated by the World Bank. And of course, the EU launched starting in Lagos in 2007. But after that, it collapsed. And I said, well, let us start in Nigeria. And if it is working, we can push other countries. Where we're supposed to plant trees from the Atlantic to the Indian Ocean across this area to make sure that desert no longer goes down. In fact, that year we didn't have any problem. I started that year, 2015 or so, before the election. We had no line budget for it. Up to release 30 million naira for the political fund to that agency that I established under Mr. Environment, and we initiated that project. Somehow I lost the elections, I didn't know what exactly to do. And so, for me, UNDP can give the technical support for countries. The countries will play a key role supported by the regional or state government in the case of Nigeria. And we must revisit that. And the key thing is that we must make farmers in the Sahelian zone to crop at least 3 times a year, or at worst if we must take wealth, if we must manage security. And I believe this is possible if the countries are willing to do that with the support of the UN, the World Bank, and we have the UN rep in this zone. So today, we have so many panels that will be discussing technical things today and tomorrow about the Sahel. My request is for those please let everybody tell us how do we create wealth in this area that the environment is very, very fragile. And we will find it difficult to convert the environmental resources